Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to watch this. My name is Payton Campbell and I serve as the Science Director for Coastal Watch Association. I'm also a local geologist who has spent years working with environmental and industrial issues along the Texas coast. Today I wanted to give you a brief overview of several permits and proposed actions that could affect our air, our water, and ultimately our quality of life here in the coastal bend. Many of these projects are being reviewed individually, but our community experiences all of their impacts together. That's why it's important that we ask regulators to look at the bigger picture and ensure these projects are protective of public health, our fisheries, and Corpus Christi Bay. Our first permit is actually a group of 6 air permits that Cheniere's Corpus Christi liquefaction facility is submitting. The proposed air permits would allow increases in several pollutants, including nitrogen oxides, volatile organic compounds, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and greenhouse gases. Our concern is not only the emissions from this project by itself, but the combined impacts with all of the other LNG plants, refineries, chemical facilities, and industrial sources already operating in our region. People living nearby breathe the combined pollution, not pollution from one permit at a time. We're asking regulators to require a cumulative air quality analysis, stronger community air monitoring before and after construction, and better modeling of flaring, startup, shutdown, maintenance, and upset events. We also want advanced leak detection and enforceable monitoring requirements, so emissions are measured, not simply estimated. A public meeting is actually scheduled for September 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Portland Community Center, so please come out and let your concerns be heard in a public forum. This next permit is also with Cheniere's Corpus Christi liquefaction, and it covers wastewater discharge. The wastewater that eventually reaches Corpus Christi Bay. It also involves managing wastewater from historical industrial waste areas where contaminants may still be present. Potential pollutants include metals such as arsenic, mercury, copper, and also bacteria, suspended solids, and oil and grease. Even when permits meet individual limits, repeated discharges over many years can affect water quality and aquatic life. So we're asking for stronger monitoring requirements, a cumulative impact evaluation, public access to compliance information, and a public meeting before the permit's renewed. Community members deserve the opportunity to understand what's entering our bay and how these decisions are being made. Public comment is currently open, and there's no deadline as of right now for TCEQ, so please submit comments, voice your concerns, and ask for that public meeting. This last permit with Cheniere's Corpus Christi liquefaction is actually through the Army Corps of Engineers. And this project includes dredging that could impact important coastal habitats, including more than 8 acres of seagrass and tidal marsh. Our position is that the certification should be delayed until sediment testing has been completed and regulators fully understand what sediments could be disturbed during dredging. We also believe continuous water quality monitoring should be required throughout construction. Another important question is why the Railroad Commission is issuing the Section 401 water quality certification instead of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. We believe the public deserves a clear explanation, along with a full evaluation of cumulative impacts to Corpus Christi Bay. Public comments can be submitted directly to the Railroad Commission for the water quality certification as of right now. Next, we have another wastewater discharge permit, but this one is coming from the OxyChem facility. This permit would allow nearly 2.8 million gallons of industrial wastewater to be discharged every day into La Quinta Channel. When combined with nearby facilities such as Chemours, the total discharge could approach 7.4 million gallons per day. Our concern is not simply the volume of water, but the pollutants that may be present, including dioxins, furans, PFAS-related compounds, metals, chlorides, and other contaminants that can accumulate over time. And we're asking regulators to require stronger toxicity testing, fish tissue sampling, sediment monitoring, PFAS monitoring, and a reevaluation of mixing zones. These steps will help protect our fisheries, oyster, seagrass, and long-term health of Corpus Christi Bay. Public comment is currently open with no deadline to TCEQ, so you can submit those comments online. All right, these next 2 permits are both for the proposed Project Yarn blue ammonia plant. They're actually very closely connected. The water rights permit would actually allow the project to withdraw nearly 89,000 acre-feet of bay water each year, while about 76% would be returned with a higher salinity. They'll be producing a miniature desalination plant, and that's what these permits are revolving around. And the wastewater permit would actually discharge approximately 45,000 gallons every minute back into Corpus Christi Bay. Our concern is how these withdrawals and discharges may affect salinity, water temperatures, aquatic habitats, fisheries, oysters, and recreational use of the bay. Industrial chemicals, stormwater, and sediment accumulation also deserve careful review. So we're asking for independent monitoring of water withdrawals, discharges, biological impacts, sediment accumulation, and cumulative impacts before these permits move forward. Currently, the public comment is open with no deadline for TCEQ, so please submit your concerns online to TCEQ. Our final permit is actually a proposed federal rule through the EPA, and it would actually reduce mandatory public participation for many minor new source review air permits. That's things like concrete batch plants or gravel crushers that can really send out a lot of particulate matter in the air. And public participation is one of the most important tools communities have. It allows residents to review projects, ask questions, identify local concerns, and improve permit decisions before facilities are built or expanded. Reducing those opportunities would have the greatest impact on fence-line communities that already experience multiple sources of pollution. We believe transparency, public notice, and meaningful opportunities for comment should remain central to the permitting process, consistent with the goals of the Clean Air Act. So currently, written public comments can still be submitted to the EPA through August 21st, so please let your voice be heard. Thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit about these permits. While each project may seem technical, they all affect the air we breathe, the water we depend on in the future of Corpus Christi Bay. Community voices really matter. Agencies often receive far more comments from industry than from local residents, and your participation helps ensure community concerns become part of the official record. If you choose to get involved, submit comments, attend public meetings, ask questions, and encourage others to participate. Working together, we can advocate for responsible development while protecting the health of our communities and the natural resources that make the Coastal Bend such a special place. Thank you.